Classic rock, country music facts, and trivia. Today's video is on Miss Loretta Lynn, first lady of country music. And when she first sang "You Ain't Woman Enough" at a show for her friend whose husband was in the crowd with his mistress. Don't mess with Loretta Lynn. Back in 1966, the country icon released that would ultimately become her very first #1 album, "You Ain't Woman Enough," which of course produced one of her most recognizable and popular songs in the title track and the album's only single. It became her biggest hit up to the point when it peaked at #2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Singles charts. Of course, it's a record that put her on the map with a lot of country fans at the time and certainly did well commercially, but it also showed what kind of a woman she was and how she wasn't going to be putting up with any nonsense. I mean, she came out of the gate absolutely swinging on a song like "You Ain't Woman Enough," and I think it sets the tone for her entire career as a country pioneer and icon. And the feature was 60 Minutes uncut back in 2005 with Mike Wallace, around the release of her 2004 Grammy-winning album with Jack White called "Vanilla Rose." She told the story behind it. "I wrote 'You Ain't Woman Enough' because there was this old gal that didn't live too far from us. Her name was," they censored that out, "and I hope you're listening, you old bag." She was going with Doolittle. My little girl walked off the bus. First of all, I love the fact that Loretta still name dropped her and then looked directly into the camera and called her an old bag. She's iconic. And some of her team started laughing in the background when she said that, and true Loretta fashion responds with, "What are y'all laughing about? This is the truth. You can't do nothing about it, can you?" A true queen. Jack White, who produced the aforementioned Vanilla Rose album, said Loretta never forgot any of the girls' names that she found out were sleeping with her husband. During the recording process of that album, he said Loretta would always tell him exactly who each song was about, and she never, ever forgot any of them. To be a fly on the wall for that. But Loretta said the real final straw, understandably, in this particular case came when one of her daughters got off a bus crying one afternoon, saying that the driver told her their daddy was in love with someone else and they were going to get married. But my little girl come off the school bus and says, "Mama," she was crying. I said, "What, honey?" She said, "This old girl that's driving the bus says her and daddy's in love and they're going to get married." And Mrs. Loretta did not appreciate that one bit. I said, "Oh, I found out who it was. Doolittle was stepping high and he had, what's-her-name, over at the house telling me that it was all a lie, and I could see that she was lying and Doolittle too. I just thought, well, they deserve each other," but that was the end of that. I have no doubt in my mind Loretta took care of business and made sure the woman never stepped foot in her house again. But when it came to actually writing the song, she put it together in 10 minutes after a friend was crying, telling her about her husband cheating and how he was sitting in the audience with his side chick at Loretta's show. One night at one of my live shows, me and my girlfriend were talking. She told me her husband, who was there with her, was running around on her. She was crying because she came through the door to get into the show. She saw the other woman also there. I said, "We'll fix that old gal." That night I sang "You Ain't Woman Enough" and dedicated it to her. Girlfriends got to stick together. And yes, she did have to set a few of them straight back in the day, and she wasn't afraid to get physical if she needed to. Well, I have had a few fights over him. If you get the first licking, you're okay. If you don't get the first licking, it's not so good. A true icon, pioneer, and one-of-a-kind woman. And I'm sorry, I totally disagree with her approach to this. Cheat one time, possibly forgiven. Do it multiple times and hit the bricks, man. I mean, could you imagine what Doolittle Lynn would have been without Loretta after she had made it? Nothing. Anyway, all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please like this video. I'd appreciate it. You have a great day. God bless you, and I'm praying for you.